know, my name is Michelle Witherspoon. I am here in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm a trustee and sit on the board with the MS Society, but I work full-time for a technology company here at the park. I've been living with MS since 2002, but my baby sister has been living with MS for 25 years, and that's how we were made aware of the disease. And then recently, a couple of years ago, my aunt was diagnosed with MS, although I think she's had it for many, many years and just was misdiagnosed, as many people are. So today, we got a whole panel. We got a panel today, guys. It's going to be so good. So here's what we're going to talk about. So we're going to talk about how do we continue to have healthy, positive relationships and the network, right, of family and friends and community that all help us engage in a powerful way. We know that connecting with others that have these similar experiences, my sister and I both have MS, we have similar experiences. We don't take the same medications. We don't even, our MS symptoms don't even show lots of times in the same way, but we have this community of dealing with a disease like MS that we can talk about. So how do we, this community, support each other? Right? We know that this support will help us reduce isolation. It increases our resilience. How do we bounce back? How do we promote stability? Right? All of these things that all of us that are living with MS, we all have psychological, physical, cognitive, emotional, spiritual, all these different things in which we live with the disease, and they can become overwhelming, right? And so we're going to talk today about how do we practice resilience? What is the secret? Is there a secret to coping with this disease, but really more thriving with it, and and we're going to hear from different people in different areas, caregivers. We have a millennial, we have someone that's been living with the disease longer. So we're in different areas of the country, right? Because the support systems look a little different. We started the African American Conference here in North Carolina, and I am so grateful that Cindy and Jennifer and Jeff and all these people know how grateful I am that, and Angela and Kinsey and Teresa, and I could go on and on and on, how grateful I am that they took this conference virtual. When they called and said, we're gonna have to take it virtual, I was like, but then look at this. This has been amazing. It has been amazing. So let's dig in so we don't run any more time. We are thankful for the advisory committee that helped with this summit and all the people that have brought us together here to plan it. So let's go to our panel members. So Angela, I'm coming to you first. Okay, so I'm just letting you know I'm coming to you first. All right, so Angela, and I think Angela, remind us when you get on, but I think you from the DC metro area, I think. I don't have my notes in front of me on that, but let me have you introduce yourself. And then what I would like for you to talk about is your experience that increase your connection around resiliency in a positive way. What are those things you've done what's your bounce back? Like, what's the way in which you do that?
Gotcha. So, hi, everybody. I'm Angela White, and I am in Washington, D.C. I was diagnosed in 2002, and I just started a new job, was happy, loving life, and lost vision in my eye. And it's like, oh, whoa. So when I was diagnosed, my first response was, Black people don't get MS because I've never seen it. And then I found out I was wrong. So then my very next step was to hit the society's website and say, so what do I need to know about this disease? And I looked and I searched and I found information, and I said, oh, next step is, oh, there's this thing called Walk MS. And that was my very first in-person connection with the society. I said, I'm gonna walk. I can't let this stop me. And I did that. You have to understand, I'm not an athlete. I never was an athlete. I was more cerebral. And so for me to say I'm going to do this was like, whoa, where'd that come from? But the reality is that MS stole my cognitive prowess in very many ways. And I said, what else do I have? It stole my physical prowess. Where else can I go? And so I said, well, I have to keep pushing and pushing. So every day I would get up and go, what are my limits today? Today I need a cane. First of all, I bought a cane because I'm not old. Well, I wasn't at the time. I'm not old, so I don't want a cane. My mother has a cane. My great-grandmother has a cane. And so I said, I'm going to do all these things. Then I stepped back and I said, what else can I do? I had to leave work in 2007, and I became very depressed. So I gained like 135 pounds. Okay. I was never much of an athlete, but then I got tired and I said, if I have another 2/3 of my life, do I want to live it like this or do I want to live it the best way I can? And I said, I want to live it the best way I can. So I got up and I started walking. I found a group called Girl Trek and we started walking. I committed to walking 5 days a week, 30 minutes a day, and I didn't stop because I said I spent 3 years largely immobile. I got up and went to the restroom. I got up and went to appointments. That was pretty much it. I was largely immobile. And I was very depressed because so much had been taken from me. And I started moving. I started walking. I got in the pool. I started yoga. And then I said, well, every day, what's the next challenge? How can I push myself? And I kept going and going. And the thing that really solidified my connection was I decided one day I'd had enough challenges. I'd done half marathons. Again, I wasn't an athlete beforehand, but I had pushed myself to learn how to do half marathons. What's my role later? Walking. And I said, I need another challenge in life because I think I've mastered this. Now, what else can I do? So I did challenge walk. And I didn't understand what it was. I thought it would be like back-to-back half marathons instead of like 20 miles a day and then 11 miles the next day.
Did you say 20, Angela? Because I
I
mean,
did.
let's just put that
I
out
did.
there and give
I
them
did
like.
say I did say 20. I did say 20. And so that was the first day. And then the second day was 11. And I didn't know anyone. I didn't have friends walking with me. I didn't family walking with me. I didn't know nobody around the route that knew me, that I knew intimately. And I wasn't part of a team. And my family was like, what are you thinking? And I said, but I know the society's there. And I know people in the society. I've already connected, so I can do this. Plus I have my Metro card. I can always get on the Metro if I need to stop or something happens. And I found my strength there. I found that no matter how tired I was, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, I was surrounded by people and we all had the same cause. And that cause was an end to MS. And I said, if I don't put myself on the line to do this, how can I expect anybody else to? Mm-hmm. And so I kept going and going. And I had people who adopted me along the route. We walked together. We slept overnight together. We got up and we did it the next day. And it was the most amazing experience of my life. And that's the moment when it clicked. And I said, anything that they ever ask me to do, I'll do. Because this matters to me. Being connected to people matters to me. And so that's how I've done it. And every day I still get up and ask myself, what are my limits today? How do I feel? How can I overcome what I perceive as my limits right now? And every day I still walk because I have to, because if I don't, I'm afraid I won't again.
That's so powerful, Angela. There's a quote that I use that I say often to myself and to others. Tension produces greatness, that adversity produces power. So let's don't run from our challenges, which we have many living with MS, some seen and some unseen. But how do we use those challenges and we face them head on to keep us going? So, girl, thank you. 20. I mean, like I'll give you some coffee or some cookies or something on the route. I'm not going to do that, but yeah, I'll be there supporting you on the side. But kudos to you. Let's go. Elea, I'm coming to you next. And this is our millennial on the panel. I was so excited. And I told her, speak as authentically as possible, because I don't think we hear enough from our millennial population around how are they being impacted with MS and what is the lens in which they see it through. And so, Elea, can you introduce yourself first and then talk about the ways in which you've built your sense of community?
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Elea McKinney. I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis on April 28th, 2010. I remember the day. That was 10 years ago. I was 18 years old. So I was in college. I was in the midst of living my life. And I thought, okay, I have all of my life, everything. I have all my opportunities. And one morning I woke up and I had optic neuritis in my left eye, and I had numbness in my hands and my feet and my legs. And I remember I yelled to my mom, I was like, I can't feel my hands, I can't feel my feet, and I can't see out of my left eye. And at that time, she called our primary care physician. He immediately told me to come in. And that same day, I went to a neurologist. I then went to an ophthalmologist. They did the test to see if you do have optic neuritis. And they came back and told me I had multiple sclerosis. At that time, I had no idea what it was. I'm the only person in my family who has the disease. So that was it was a learning process, because it's not a disease that you normally see every day, as if like breast cancer or diabetes. There's a lot of people that you could say, oh yeah, I know this person has it or this other person has it. So being 18 years old and researching, and I saw that it's debilitating, I did not know what my life was going to be. And for the first 2 years, it was very, very challenging. I was not put on the proper medications. You know, you're going through the testing period. And during that time, 10 years ago, the medicines that were available for relapsing and remitting were totally different than today. So and then mentally, I was initially put on Copaxone, so I'm giving myself shots. That's mentally daunting to an individual who's just been diagnosed. And once again, you're 18. So all my other friends are like, hey, you want to go to the mall? Hey, you want to go out? You want to go to and then as I got older, you want to go to the club? And I'm like, yeah, no, I can't stand there all this time. Actually, I'm tired. And then I couldn't understand why I was constantly, I would say sleepy, but you didn't realize that you were significantly fatigued. And so I slipped into a depression because my life was becoming something that I didn't want it to be. I had to give up. And I was not secure in my disease. So I refused to tell anyone that I had it. And I was upset when my mom would tell people that I had it. I was incompetent in it. And I then progressed to needing a walking aid. So I needed a cane, and then I needed a walker. And I was embarrassed because you're 18 years old. So you're 18, 19, 20, 21. And I was placed on steroids for 2 years, and I was over 200 pounds. So once again, that's like a mentally daunting thing. And I did not seek to join the society because actually I was upset that I had it. So I did not want to have that community. I didn't want to be associated with it. I would refuse to look up things about it. My mom did more research than I did. And then there came a point when I was like, okay, you're 21 years old. You're going to have this for the rest of your life. There's no cure. So at some point, you have to take hold of your disease and you have to say, you know what, I need to learn about this. I need to open up about it, and I need to own what I have. And once I did that, the floodgates opened and I joined the society. I now serve on the Services Advisory Committee. I'm on the Emerging Leaders Board, which is a board that the MS Society has here in Los Angeles for people that are under 40. I'm a district leader advocate, and as well as I served on the committee for the MS Black Summit. So I now own my disease. I actually am proud to tell people I have it. I'm currently in law school, and I plan to become a disability rights advocate and a disability rights attorney, in which I can help others who have the disease. So
Angela, pause. You see all the hand claps? I just want you to see that on the video.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. So but it took such progress to get here. I was suicidal at one point. At one point when I started to date, I would not tell anyone that I had it. And I had to come to this point where you have to be transparent. And because if you can't accept my condition, then how can you accept me? Because where I stand today is not where I have been, and no one knows if tomorrow I might have a relapse, and tomorrow I might be on a cane. And are you really going to like me? Are you going to really want to stay with me or continue to date me? So as a millennial, I feel like that has been something that I've had to navigate. You have to navigate your friendships. And I had to navigate and say, okay, every friend and every relationship, I can't seek them to give me, they can't give me everything that I need out of that one relationship. So I have my friends who I meet with who have multiple sclerosis, and we could talk about being fatigued, and I can talk to you about drop foot, and I can talk to you about burning and tingling, and you understand. And I have my other friends who I can't, you have to realize I can be social, but I'm not your club friend anymore. I'm your lunch and brunch friend. Like, because we need to sit down, it can't be too hot. I need the air condition. So it's things like that. Once you own and once you become confident in the disease that you have, you can set the precedence of what your community looks like.
Yes, girl. I'm like, when I met Elea, I was like, oh my gosh, I love her already. I've known Lisa that's getting ready to come up in a minute. I've known her a little longer, but you just connect with some people and that
Yes.
spirit comes through. I hope you guys are feeling that. And through this session of community, she identified her support system. She let them nurture her, and just so proud of you. Now you have this bigger community of people out here for you that are supporting you and, raising it up for you. Okay, Mark, I'm coming to you. So Mark, I'm really excited for you to introduce yourself and really talk about your commitment to community engagement, because you're a caregiver, right? And so let's talk a little bit about how did that come to, and how do you see this community of connection for someone not living with MS, but always being present? Oh, wait, Mark, are you on mute? Say something. Okay, there you go.
Thanks for the introduction. My name is Mark Rodnix, and I'm in Pennsylvania. Thank you everyone for participating in today's event. My connection with multiple sclerosis began in 1996 when my wife was diagnosed. We just relocated to Michigan at the time, and we were both unaware of what the future would hold. We bought some books on the disease and started researching on what to expect. She was diagnosed with relapsing remitting. And of course, we saw a neurologist. I was introduced to the MS Society in 1999 when my accountant asked me to ride Bike MS with the Daimler Chrysler team. I had no idea what it was about. I took my $100 Huffy up to the bike shop. $600 later, I walked out with my first road bike. And from then on, I started doing that's where the journey started, and that's where I started with the organization. A year later, working for Comcast, I decided to build my own team. I thought it would be a good idea and help me build relationships with the society and with cyclists and with people. As we learned about the disease, I knew I had to prepare my family for what the future would hold and what I could do to make my wife as comfortable as possible. I currently ride the MS 150-mile bike ride every year and completed my 52nd last year.
What? Let's pause on that, Mark. I mean, we got to give it up for these. Y'all are doing it. Like, I'm just grateful y'all are doing it, because I'll donate, but I'm just not going to do 20 miles or 150. But y'all are doing it. Sorry, keep going, Mark.
I'm a certified spinning instructor. I've been teaching spinning for 20 years before, and then COVID hit and the gym closed and everything like that. I've helped develop cycling teams for Comcast across the country. Comcast is a national team, and I received the Circle of Distinction Award for crossing the $1 million fundraising mark. We currently have 13 teams nationwide. I was on a mission to become more involved. I became more engaged with the society, with the local chapter, and I was asked to join the board of directors in the Michigan area. I wanted to do as much as I could as far as helping people with the disease and to find a cure. I really enjoyed participating and getting involved. I learned that there were a lot of African American people who had MS, and in the African American community, and wanted to make people aware of what the society had to offer and the benefits they had. I currently live in Philadelphia, and my brother's a pastor at a church in Philadelphia and the former president of the Black clergy. He has helped spread the word regarding the organization by participating in church health fairs. And he helped spread the word about this event to people in Philadelphia through the Black clergy. I was able to balance being caregiver, my career, the society work, and staying fairly healthy. My wife and I participate in MS events when she's up to it. She's a big supporter of my efforts. My daughter works for the society. She's a navigator. Together with the connections we've made in the events like this that we participate in, it further helps us with our relationships with the society. We network to keep informed on programs and services that are available. The engagement has taught me a lot about MS and living with MS. I hope someday soon my wife and people like her can say, I had MS and I beat it.
Yes.
By the way, we've been married for 40 years and she's a breast cancer survivor also.
That's amazing.
Thanks for listening and enjoy the remainder of the program.
Thank you, Mark. You know what? You're so like mellow with it, but you had so many nuggets in that. So when we get back to Q&A, I'm going to come back to you because I want to give Lisa some moments here, but I just don't want you to lean over or glance over all the nuggets you had in there. You had an amazing bike team and then all the stuff you've done for your wife. So we're going to come back to you on that. There's a lot of resilience of community in your statement there. So, okay, Lisa, girl, I'm coming to you. So Lisa and I serve on a couple of the diversity committees for the society together. But Lisa, I really want you to talk about that defining moment that you have with connecting with others and living with MS.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Michelle. Hello, I'm Lisa McRipley. I'm an MS activist, member of the Society's Diversity Advisory Committee, trustee of the Michigan chapter of the National MS Society. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. And I was diagnosed with MS in September 2010. So it's my 10th anniversary as well, Elea. Previously, I was in higher education administration, creating diversity, inclusion, and social justice programs for students and staff, most recently at UC Berkeley. Following a severe relapse when I was hospitalized for a month, my very caring neurologist commanded me to return to Michigan in order to be near family. Thus, I went from Motown to Oaktown and back. And I spent months grieving the loss of my former self. Then I saw commercials for Walk MS Detroit. I participated and it was wonderful. So I decided to volunteer with the National MS Society. I went to the Society's Michigan chapter headquarters, and Rose Taylor, the former vice president of programs, asked me to serve the planning committee for the Conference of African American Black Families Affected by MS in Detroit. And after I left each meeting with those amazing women on the committee, I said to myself, these are my people. In addition to my loving and supportive family, these are my people. The 200 plus participants that attended the conference in Detroit the last 4 years are my people. And these wonderful people on the Black MS Experience Summit Planning Committee are also my people. So I mentioned that I serve, that's right, I mentioned that I serve on the Society's Diversity Advisory Committee. The DAC created the Society's Diversity and Inclusion Statement, which is read before each of the Society's volunteer and leadership meetings. And it asserts the National MS Society is a movement by and for people affected by MS.
Put yourself on mute, please. Are you just joining us? Sorry about that, Lisa.
That's all right. Welcome, 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 Ms. Taylor. All right, so we share a collective passion and our voices reflect our diversity. We value and welcome diverse perspectives so that everyone feels free to bring their whole selves and contribute fully to our mission. We actively seek out and include these differences to ensure we make the best decisions to achieve our vision, a world free of MS. And then following the horrific death of George Floyd, the Society released 2 public statements. I'm just gonna read just a portion of what was announced. We are outraged by the injustice and violence that led to the death of George Floyd and too many others in our country. This is not okay, not today or any day. We must do better, we must do more. And among the foci are ensuring Black people affected by MS see themselves in the MS movement by increasing the representation of Black voices, perspectives, and experiences throughout our content. So I happened upon these statements on Twitter back in June. And at that moment, not only did I think that the National MS Society and the MS community were our community, I knew it too. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. You guys, let me just tell you, when we come together as a society for some of our trustee meetings or the services, we read that as a group, and it is a little bit hilarious because everybody speaks at a different rate of speech, and so I talk fast, so I'm almost halfway done by the time they're in the middle of reading it. But it just shows that the society, is not just talking about what they want to do for this community. They're actually putting their time, energy, power, and dollars behind it. And that's what we're doing here today.